everybody. Welcome to another episode of Barry's Bites. It was a huge hit the last time, and we're back again with we did breasts and biscuits.
Yes.
It was a huge hit.
Doc Ellis, a recommendation from him.
What are we making today, Barry?
Well, as many know and many don't know, I've lived a lot of places. So when I first moved from Michigan, I moved to Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Well, I mean, Cincinnati, you've got your Bengals, you've got your Reds.
Yeah. Your Cincinnati bow tie.
Yeah. There's many things about Cincinnati, but a lot of people, it's also the Queen City.
It is the Queen City, yeah.
But it's also the world famous chili of Cincinnati. It's the chili capital, I believe, is how they call it.
We spent some time there, and I got a chance to get in on this.
Oh yeah, I told you when we went. Yeah, it's a thing. My personal favorite was a place. I hope it's still there. Empress Chili, right? And he told me the little secret of what makes Cincinnati Chili, Cincinnati Chili.
And that is?
Well, we'll get to that. Everybody in the world makes chili, and everybody thinks theirs is the best. And I usually agree. I love all chili, so.
Chili's good.
Yeah, I believe all the chili. And the fanaticism of it.
It's kind of like, Chicago or New York, they have their pizza.
Sure.
The Southwest has their Mexican food and stuff like that.
Right.
Cincinnati is known for their chili.
It is, again, the five-way.
The Cincinnati five-way.
I don't know if it's called
On that note, good night, everybody. Where do we start with this world-famous Barry Barnes, Barry's Bites chili Cincinnati style?
It all starts with beef.
Ground beef.
Ground beef. Start with that.
All right. You know that Cincinnati was named after...
And I've already washed my hands.
Thank you. Cincinnati was actually named after a Roman emperor. Did you know that?
No. You see?
He was a Roman dictator, actually.
Well, is there any other kind?
We had a good time in Cincinnati.
Great time. It was playoff time.
It was playoff time. I believe the Bengals... Were they playing the Steelers in the playoffs?
They were.
Because we played at the Autorama, and we got a chance to walk around. We got to see everybody kind of coming into Cincinnati for the game, all dressed up. What are we doing here? We're cooking the beef.
Yep, we're just throwing it in here. We got to brown it and washing hands all the time.
Yeah.
And always with the browning, salt and pepper. Never to be underestimated with your beef. It just makes gooder.
Makes everything gooder.
Kind of like bacon.
But we're not using the crock pot this time.
No,
we're just
we're not.
going straight. This is like spaghetti plays a big part in the Cincinnati
Right.
chili.
That was like chili on spaghetti is delicious. I don't know where it goes back to, but pasta, like rice and bread, just stretches it out.
That. We got more of a range of cookware going on.
Yeah, a good time to fire up the water for the spaghetti. The Cincinnati way also, the beans are made separately.
Beans, are you putting beans in your chili? Because that's part of the way. There's Cincinnati 2-way, 3-way, 4-way, 5. What are the ways that make it?
Okay, the first way, it's spaghetti.
Yeah.
Then we have the chili,
Yeah.
onions,
Okay.
the beans,
Right.
cheese.
And if you take away any of those, then it's called the 4-way or the 3-way or.
Yes.
Everyone likes a 3-way too. So I mean,
let your appetite be your desire.
boiling the water because this is going to go a lot quicker than like our
Right.
You remember the Icky Shuffle?
I do. Right, exactly. Where you hold the ball.
Right. Of course, the Big Red Machine came out of Cincinnati as
Right.
well.
I lived there when Pete was accused of gambling. I was the first to say, Pete, don't say it isn't so.
He belongs in the Hall of Fame, doesn't he?
For the hits. I mean, you should probably maybe put a poker chip or something. Maybe, the cards.
He never bet on himself to lose, so getting close.
Do we know who came up with this concoction of the Cincinnati chili?
I'm just the artist here because it was yummy and it's tasty. What is it? But we'll get to that. It's so sweet and good.
Yeah.
But still chili. I think I ate it every day for 2 years, 3 years.
How long did you live in Cincinnati?
3 years or so.
And
I played in a band. I played in a band out of Cincinnati for a couple years before I moved there. There was a bunch. Went to Tokyo and Hong Kong and Singapore. Everybody all I knew lived in Cincinnati at that point, so I just moved there.
It's pretty well ready.
Okay.
So now what I'm going to do is mash,
Okay.
and you do this.
All right.
And you put it in here, just turn it, and it just.
It's all in technique, folks.
Because again, this is going to go over a sauce. Boop, as they would say. it's done. And also, in the boiling water, I like a little salt. I don't know why, because my mom did it. Anyway, now we're seasoning. And let's first maybe we're draining.
Barry, did you also know that Uncle Tom's Cabin, I thought Uncle Tom's Cabin was written by Janie Lane, but it actually was not.
Well,
Yeah, it was written in Harriet Stowe.
There's also a lot of funk bands in Cincinnati.
Well, you know, Bootsy Collins is from Cincinnati.
Bootsy, the Gap Band.
The Isley Brothers.
Yeah, I mean,
Lonnie Mack.
Yeah, Zap, Roger Troutman.
Okay. Doris Day was also from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And Dinah Shore.
It's just a great city.
Okay, so I've drained the fat. I'm turning the heat back on. Any kind will do, of course. I like the mild because it's just gonna. It's
Easier
gonna be,
on the soul a little bit.
Use a little more, so
A little added flavor.
a little added flavor's better. We're gonna put a little more on it. I like it covered pretty good. Again, this is all to flavor, experiment as I have. This is years in the making. When I make it myself, if I'm putting the beans in it, I like the
The
pintos.
Okay.
When I make it myself, if I'm putting the beans in it, I like the
The
pintos.
Okay.
Sorry. What I like and traditional, this is a mix. And because I used to have cats and dogs, we all know what happens that's why I don't have an electric one. And again, it's just kind of searing. There's any ways you can work with this as well. And I brought this with chips. It was a huge hit. Also the Fritos scoops, because you can.
Right.
And we're going to cover
So that, you're making the beans in a separate pot here. Some people don't like having the beans. It,
Yeah.
makes for a long night.
Can. I hate, as I've had to apologize before.
WKRP in Cincinnati. That was a funky theme song.
Dr. Johnny Fever
Dr. Johnny
with Venus Flytrap at night.
That was Duke Fame's manager, and he was like, "We're playing at the Enormo Dome." That's where that's.
First time I was ever in Vegas before I lived here, I met Paul in the parking lot of our favorite place on earth.
Yeah.
And he was just so cool and so nice.
Yeah.
And then I realized later who he was. I was like, ah!
That's Duke Fame.
And, we got to put the soup together.
Well, this is just straight tomato soup in our
Right now,
bowl?
well, it is, but we're gonna because again, I use extra on here, so I put a little of this chili powder in here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say, can we see it?
Sure.
Feels good. Again, I've done this for a while. It's kind of half covering it.
So there's no real science to it. It's all kind of artistic flavoring.
Oh, of course,
feeling
of
it
course,
out,
but
kind
it's-
of eyeballing it.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
texture, the weight.
Extra, texture, color, the whole thing. This will mix up nicely, and this is going to go in with the meat, because I like it,
Yeah.
and that'll be more crunchy flavorness.
Okay.
So we pour this in.
Let the meat absorb the tomato.
It's just kind of everything gets together. Pretty tasty. Let's see some boiling bubbles. Not a lot, just a little. But again, beans are, they gotta be done. I stir it up because that's as much searing as I'm allowing for it. This is what makes it Cincinnati chili. Cinnamon.
Cinnamon, yes.
That is the thing, so we can show how much.
Okay, because this is important
This
to not
is.
go over.
Here's what you see. It's just going to be just a little fact. Do that first over the sink. That way the cinnamon's right there. It doesn't come rushing out.
Right.
And why do I know this?
Cinnamon incidents before.
Yeah. See, that was more than that's enough. You see how little that
Just
was?
that right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now there's one other thing.
Okay.
I made this decision on my own.
Okay.
But
you can really smell. the
that's why it
cinnamon
doesn't
out there.
take much.
Yeah,
That's equal amount of sugar.
Okay. Did you just double dip?
Not double. It's not going anywhere. That was in there. That was what was on my finger. No, and it's my home.
Cinnamon, just a
I
little.
mean, what would
bit
you
of
call
sugar.
that?
A pinch.
Sugar and cinnamon will melt. And melting always mixes better. So,
Okay.
and we're going to stir the stuff in, and then at that point, just turn it down. It's actually
When
ready.
you say stir the stuff in, what
The cinnamon and the sugar
Oh, I
still
got it.
setting right
Gotcha.
where it is.
Gotcha.
So it'll boil, then I'm going to swoop, and it's all going to mix up nicely, and then we're going to let it cook.
Okay.
But it's ready to go. It's only going to cook as long as we does to do this.
Some places maybe they put a little cocoa or chocolate in the chili. Have you heard?
I have not, but again, the cinnamon and sugar.
This is Barry's bite, so this is how Barry likes it, how Barry wants it. So
Yeah, and you can smell it.
yeah, I mean you can really.
And it was just wait for us.
All right.
Now the sketty cards. Again, no circle, one serving.
You learn something every day.
This will turn around and away it goes. A little ribs, a little pasta.
Okay.
So the next is the chili.
Okay.
Then it's some beans, somewhere on the side.
Okay.
Again,
So you don't
it's
actually.
just more than
Yeah,
enough.
that's more than enough. That's great. Okay, so that's.
Is more or?
Yeah, dude.
Yep, cheese. I appreciate.
This is that Barry. Barry doesn't go the full 5-way. He
Yes.
no cheese for it.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll throw that.
Spaghetti,
Spaghetti,
chili,
chili,
beans,
beans,
onions,
onions,
cheese.
There it is, folks. Barry's Bites, episode number 2, the Cincinnati 5-way.